It's Michael here. I'm the chairman of Rock the Vote New Zealand, and we are a group or a party that's very interested in both national politics and local politics. So obviously we've got local politics coming up this year with the local body elections, and in 2026 we've got the national elections. So there's a lot going on. It's full on. There's a lot of issues to address and to look at and to stand for. So what we're doing today, we're going to just have a quick interview just to tell you a little bit about us and focus on the local body politics, the election this year, because it's the priority. Rock the Vote New Zealand planning to stand candidates, and it's very important to get involved in this, both either everyone voting hopefully, but also getting involved with parties that represent what you stand for. So I've got with me today Daymond, who's on our Rock the Vote committee. Daymond is a man with enormous integrity.
Thank you.
He is very passionate about politics, both local and national, and he plans to stand himself. And the more that we've got to know Daymond, the more impressed we are. We trust him completely. And the one thing, having had conversations with him in the past, that we know that he gets really upset about is when he sees any injustice going on, and there seems to be a lot in that country. So we've got Daymond. So Daymond is now going to talk a little bit about what we stand for, or what he sees for local body politics.
Thank you.
Over to you, Daymond.
Rock the Vote, I believe, stands for integrity, stands for sovereignty. We stand for just common sense, you know. I want to get common sense back into the local councils, back into government, and get correct first principles decision making back. And I believe that for this election, we want to reclaim ourselves back from the work agenda. You know, we have to get the right people in the right places. You know, we want people to be there because they're the best for that role.
Thank you, Daymond. Now, as we see, a lot of people are waking up to that our country is in a mess, and it doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. And there seems to be, in fact, we know there's an agenda going on to undermine our country and to undermine our sovereignty, and it's going to take all of us standing up against it, people that are principled, people that won't back down. And leftists have think they've got this razor thin majority that gives them a mandate to basically destroy our local economies, just because most people couldn't be bothered to get out and vote. And this is why I was saying earlier that we need to get out and vote and support these parties. So with that in mind, and also, what do you think about working with other like-minded groups, probably more on the right?
Absolutely. You know, we are a team. You know, the right is the rational right. We are the ones that know how to solve problems. We are the ones that know how to govern. The whole thing about DEI and the woke agenda is that they're trying to undermine our thought processes. You know, we believe in righteousness. We believe in the right people. Now there is, you know, the whole thing about diversity. You know, we need people from different backgrounds to give us more informed knowledge sometimes. You know, there might be some analysis on that, but the whole premise of governance and local body and decision making is we need to have the correct answers, and we need to make sure that people can put food on the table.
Yeah.
People need to eat. People need to be able to relax at night. They need to have their thoughts at ease, that we are taking care of them, and they can go on whatever mission they're doing, and we can kind of help administer them for them.
Yeah. So basically, whoever's standing is truly being of service to the ratepayers in this case for local body. There's a number of groups out there that we've been having discussions with, having meetings with, finding the common ground. And it's good to see other groups, you know, sort of rising up and coming together and mobilising because they know what we're up against. So, do you have any comments about that?
We need to be united on the right-wing front. Our main goal is to not split the vote between the rational people, the ones that want to serve the public, the ones that want to bring the right change across.
Yeah.
And with working with all these groups, I would like to form like a grand alliance between all of us, where we all know we were standing, we can tell each other who to vote for or who to tell each other to vote for in each place. And by doing that, that'll give us the best chance of getting the best people in.
Yes. Yeah. Fantastic. That's great. And it shouldn't be too difficult to do if you really know the agenda going on.
Yeah.
You should be able to, and there might be some crossover, but I think anything can be resolved through authentic conversations,
Yeah.
just being honest with each other. No one needs to take the glory. You have, like you said, on merit the best people for the
Yeah.
positions to win this, that because we're up against so much.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we're going to be putting out, that I saw you write last night, which I was very impressed by.
Thank you.
You mentioned about one position to take is for 3 years having 0 rates rises,
Yeah.
which I quite like, because you
Yeah.
were mentioning about the fact that it forces the councils to live within a budget, to have a
Yeah.
budget. Comments?
Well, it's like spending other people's money, it comes down to some councillors and board members are complacent. They have no problem spending other people's money. It's like when people donate to our party. We're always very considerate about when we spend it, because at the end of the day, those people gave us their money in good faith.
Absolutely.
The same with the councils. That we're paying rates. They should be a lot more caring about what they spend the money on, and not just spend it on DEI jobs or any sort of that's a waste of money. Yeah.
Okay, and also just a few more comments. Another position where we stand, whether it be with national government or local government, is full transparency, because we're all New Zealanders, we're all in this together. We should have nothing to hide, and the only reason why we see that local government or national government don't want full transparency is because they have something to hide, which we find unacceptable.
Yeah.
Would you got any further comments?
I agree. I think it's time to open the books.
Yeah.
I think everything needs to be transparent, because it's the people's money, it's the people's vote.
Yeah.
You could even go as far as having like a blockchain, like a verified blockchain. Make sure everything is provable. Make sure everything is on record. Everything is minuted, and everything can be open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you do have to wonder why government or councils would want to hide things. It starts to look a little bit sinister, if anything.
Yeah, and I've also heard of working groups not allowing other councillors to join their working groups. I think that's unacceptable.
Yeah. One thing we did in our local Waitemata local board area, we basically made it happen that the Waitemata local board had workshops that were open to the public, and there was resistance from the left from this, but we won the day, and now it's a good thing. We can be online and watch the workshops, and you're seeing everything that's being disclosed or discussed, and that is good for democracy.
And all councils should operate like that. They should all have open workshops, so people can see what's going on, even maybe have some input, maybe like one workshop a month where people can actually talk, maybe have some advice to give. Okay,
I think that's about it. So thank you, Daymond. Do you any last comments? Or
we've got to keep the separation between local and national politics. Local councils should vote on fluoridation, for example. That needs to be a really important point. We need to keep that separation. Even though we are a political party, we fully respect the separation of powers here. And that's what you get by running under us.
Fantastic, because we do think it's outrageous that the Director General of Health could mass medicate the population through fluoridation and take the rights or the decision making away from local councils and the communities. It's beyond outrageous, and it feels very totalitarianism. So, okay, thank you, Daymond. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget, rock the vote, New Zealand.
Awesome, thank you.